Hey, it's Duskmourn Chronicles time, and I hope you are enjoying it as much as we are. The battle has just concluded. A question was asked, or will be asked.
Answer?
There was a question. Well,
I mean, we'll ask it, and then
this is why I don't they asked a question, which was, what is your question? So a question was asked, and another question will be asked.
It will listen.
Yeah.
Scott is doing our summary of what happened last episode.
Last episode, we managed to traverse through the caverns, having been granted access by our lovely friends, Selkos. He's not interested in big picture stuff. He's he's happy in his little box, and that's what he gives a damn about. So I'm going to have to realign my sort of goals with what he wants and my best Grima worm tongue, but we'll see how that goes. So long as the relationship inside the party doesn't completely fall apart in me trying to get what I can from this man. Sorry, Grace and Gemini.
Love you apologising to me as well.
I'll do it in character as well. We haven't really had a chance to rest because we've just been traversing through these caverns, these tombs, trying to find the tomb of, I have it here, Kestepi the Third.
Yeah.
And we did some actions. We tried to get through unscathed, but unfortunately, piece by piece, chunk by chunk, has been chipped away from us, and we failed our last action. And Gottfried, maybe he couldn't resist the pull of all those books. Some sort of creature, some sort of... How would you describe him, Doran, did you say? I think it's some sort of...
Sphinx-like creature.
Sphinx, yeah. We think it's some sort of sphinx. Having defeated that, though, through no help of my own, might I say, if I'm being humble.
You're not.
You're not.
No, I'm not. Okay, cool. I've got the rest of these guys to do that for me. And they do a very good job at that. But it then asked us, what is our question? So, handing over to Gottfried, I think. What is our question? He is our question holder and answerer of the group.
I am indeed. My question, which Gottfried will spit out with great haste and emotion. Which god will extend to me an invitation to retrieve the third volume of the Crepusculario?
The god of passion and perversion. And then the Sphinx disappears.
Slanesh?
Surely that's the wrong IP.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That would be Reft, if I'm not mistaken.
You are not mistaken.
The god of... What was it again? Seduction?
Reft. Goddess of passion and indulgence.
Passion and perversion. Love it.
Think of
Well,
Halle Berry or Tom Hiddleston, apparently, according to Guy's notes he sent me probably a year and a half ago.
Amazing.
I can see. Okay.
Whilst people are musing on this, Gemini has just downed 2 great healing potions. FYI. Giant again.
I would be doing the same. I'll definitely be chugging as well. Well, that's very good news. Well, I don't know if it's good news, but it's news.
It's news.
Useful information.
Yes. Yeah, me drinking some potion too.
Well, I'm holding out for that rest. Can we please? We've been at this for, 8-9 hours now? Surely we could do with a break.
Oh, we most certainly need to rest. Looking at Kelly's heroes, how are they getting on?
They are not looking good at all. Beaten, bloodied, grime-covered. They are not happy troopers.
Gemini is going to go over and give a greater healing potion to our healer.
Okay. Here.
Well, I could also put up a Doran's tiny temple and we could rest here for 8 hours in this library. Nothing bad ever happened in the library, right, Gottfried?
I don't care what happened here. I'm in my happy place.
I think we most certainly should rest. And just in a place like this, it's hard to know if we will get the full amount of rest we deserve and need.
We can
We'll
try
get it.
anyway.
We'll definitely get the amount of rest we deserve.
Anything we can do to boost ourselves and our faithful heroes here, the better.
So I will put up
Okay.
Doran's tiny temple right in the middle of the library and
Okay.
invite everyone inside.
Can we
The
like
temple
just do
party.
like a bit of an investigation check around where we are just to see how safe this feels? Do we
Did you
need to
say that this
navigate
is a-
anywhere?
Indeed. And did you say that this is a real library, or that was an illusion of some kind? Or
No, it's real. There
Oh,
are
well, then.
there are hundreds of scrolls in the Sagetti style. How is your Sagetti?
Well, I'll do a comprehend languages ritual.
Okay. All right. That's fine. So Kelly will send out 2 scouts. That would be himself and Get Cassie. They will see what they can see whilst Duran is creating his temple. Avaradis, you doing anything whilst Gottfried is rummaging through scrolls and...
Well, I've Gottfried, the usual, anything you want to keep and read later, we can store in this bag.
That'll
No,
be absolutely everything.
there is something I would ask of you as well, Gottfried. Perhaps if you could inspect this. Show him the ring.
Oh yes, of course. Sorry. Yeah. When I've done the comprehend languages thing, I'll do an identify on that.
Yeah, and then there's something I'd like to do when we're resting. I want to see if I can confer with our Hamnerfer in any way. Ask his opinion of this Selkos. If he has any influence over this man.
Okay, lots going on there then. Gemini, what are you doing whilst all of that's going on?
Despite the healing potion given to me by Avaradis, I am still giving him the cold shoulder. I want to assist our soldiers as well as I can, make sure that I'm helping boost their morale. They've just come very close to death, and that's really rubbish. So she's kind of singing to them and telling them stories and just trying to help them rest in a way that will make them feel better about their heroic defeat over this Sphinx. And she's really trying to big them up as much as possible because they were amazing.
Lovely. Why not, indeed? All right. Your temple goes up, and everybody's inside doing their thing. The scouts return. I would not suggest that we stay here for very long, says Kelly. This place is crawling with them. How do I say this? They're like sand snakes. They seem to be guarding this place.
You think your tiny hut will protect us from these things?
My temple is rather impenetrable. As long as you stay inside the temple.
Then I
Nothing
suggest
can
that we
cross
stay
the
inside, sir.
They are graboids.
Your identify of the ring. The ring is cursed, insofar as Avaradis will not be able to remove this ring voluntarily. It does, however, allow whoever is the maker of this ring to read Avaradis' mind and to communicate with him across all of this plane.
Wow.
You
Nice.
have the ability to remove curse, but in doing so, that seems like a bad move because as soon as he can't read my thoughts, it's going to.
It's going to be a tad miffed.
And a miffed Selkos
Miffed
is a
Selkos,
dangerous.
It's a
thing.
very
I tasted
dangerous.
miffed Selkos, and I did not care for it.
Yeah.
So that is that. This library appears to be the collected works of a Sagetti era. Most of it is very archaic in terms of its interpretations. A lot of it is out of date, geographical terms, that sort of thing. But there are many books in here that are of cultural significance. There are scrolls that detail festivals, rites, religions. It would take you a year just to catalogue half of what's done here.
I'm going to ask the soldiers to essentially hoover up every single scroll and book and chuck it in his bag of holding.
Doesn't a bag of holding have an actual capacity limit?
It does. Yeah.
What's that limit? You research that whilst we move on to something else. Gemini, the soldiers are appreciative of your efforts and ministrations, and they are unsure as to how to repay your kindness.
No repayment needed. You are already doing more than enough for all of us. We are most grateful.
All right. They are
The
very
bag-
appreciative nonetheless. Yeah,
That can hold 500 pounds, not exceeding the volume of 64 cubic feet.
I mean, thanks for writing rules that are of use, right? Who's going to quickly just whip out some calculations? What's the average weight of a papyrus scroll whilst encased, and does its volume exceed 64 cubic bloody feet? All right, so I am going to say that you can save 640 scrolls.
Okay.
Yeah? So you may make a note that you have 640 scrolls from the Library of Jinn.
Oh.
DJ.
But like DJ, yeah?
Yeah. Jinn.
Godfrey's like a kid trying to go in a car, you know, and the parents are
Oh,
like,
yeah.
just take 2 books. Just 2. Not the whole bloody library.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, he's a very happy old man.
It does beg the
Literally,
question,
at one
though.
point he will go, "This is so exciting."
Are you going to spend 8 hours resting, or are you going to
I-
spend 8 hours choosing the correct scrolls to take? Because 640, that's probably 1% of this collection.
And my priority is the second volume of Crepuscularium, so I will certainly
Sure.
not sacrifice my efficacy for these scrolls. But what I'll do
Good
is
thinking.
I will do my best to make some kind of quick appraisal of what the best ones would be, but I'm sacrificing accuracy for saving time.
Yeah, yeah. And so you have 3 choices. Do you go for scrolls that have got the more ornate handling? Remember, scrolls are rolled around a collector pole. Those have pommels on either end. Do you go for scrolls that have got more ornate handling? So some gold, some gems. Generally, those scrolls are of more importance, but they can also just be the Pharos' royal decree of the year
Right.
is that no one may wear the color purple.
Right.
Or do you go for the older pommels that are older knowledge? Or do you go for the newest pommels, which is the most up-to-date knowledge, which you would guess is somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 years old?
I'm going to go for the oldest.
The oldest. All right, fair enough. So you have ancient Sagetti knowledge, 640 scrolls worth.
Thank you.
Love it. The night is going to pass unless anyone wants to do anything.
I just want to... Yeah, please, Grace.
There you go.
first.
Oh no, I'm just going to very pointedly, as it's very tight in this tiny temple. And if she walks past Avery and his hand happens to be on the ground, she is definitely going to dig her heel into that hand and twist and say, "You better have a good fucking explanation why you decided to offer up my child to that monster."
I'm going to look up for my reading with a grin going, This should be good. Darren, popcorn.
So, in honesty, I miscalculated. And I cannot apologize strongly enough to you. But it was my belief that you were all... Well, I thought I was serving us best by betraying us. And finding the easiest, quickest, most viable method to that would play to his ego, was to offer him something that he could not... To do something so horrific that he would perhaps bring me into his confidence.
I see. So this is how you're going to make it up to me. And she digs her heel in just that little bit more.
I hope this isn't doing more than 3 points of damage, by the way. Otherwise, this conversation is going to end.
Somebody didn't want to heal up. She's quite good at controlling the amount of pain that she inflicts on certain people. And she's going to say, you're going to say that you've been a very, very stupid boy in your babyish voice that you can muster. And you're going to tell me just how very sorry you are. Or I dig my heel in harder.
I think you're going to have to dig your heel in harder, because as much as I respect you, I don't think I have it in me right now.
Okay, and she does that.
And
Hopefully to inflict 3 points of pain.
3 points of damage. Sure, Everardus
Yeah.
passes out.
Great, that's how she leaves him.
Hey, Maurice, it's great to see the others having a fight, isn't it?
I love it. I don't think we ever knocked each other out or anything. So this is gold.
This is PvP. Okay.
Oh, wait, you gave me 2 temporary hit points earlier, but I imagine those have gone.
Those are gone, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Night,
The
night.
Doran, you wanted to do something.
The only thing I wanted to do was on hearing the news from Gottfried that Reft was the one who's going to invite us. I'm going to just spend some time meditating and thinking back on my lessons about Reft and trying to understand a little bit more about who he is. Would the DM just please give me a flavor as to who Reft is and what I would have learned about him in my studies?
Sure. I'd also like you to give me a religion check, if you please.
Oh, I thought I was going to get free.
I'll give you something for free.
Yeah, you can help, please.
Yeah.
We both have plus 11, so that's good.
So 19.
Good.
All right. I've rolled a 17, so that's
All right.
28.
Beautiful. Reft is the ultimate party god. But he is a god who tests you by saying, go and indulge. Push it to excess. If you push it too far, you die. So he is a very odd god, a trickster god, if you will, because he also loves passion. So if you write music, if you write so much and you devote your soul to that music, that you are literally willing to die for your music, he will make it the greatest music ever. So he's all about the extremes. Whatever your passion is, what you are seeking that you would surrender yourself to is worth seeking.
Doran is
But
thinking
just
through
don't
all
go
of
too
these-
far.
Yeah, Doran is thinking through all of these things in his mind, and his eyes look over at Gottfried,
Right.
man who is committed at all costs to finding this book. And then he looks at Gemini, our new companion, who is a musician par excellence from a different world. And then he looks at Everardus, the horny, passion-fueled captain lover who is just running around doing whatever the hell he wants all the time. And then I look in the mirror and I self-reflect and I say, it's got to be me, right? I'm the key. Oh, Yeah.
I'm the key.
Go
I'm the
Doran.
key.
Yeah.
Definitely Doran, yeah. Reft is often seen as a god that you turn to when you are financially destitute and you beg for money. He will give you nothing. You have to go work for it. And you can work from it you can do anything. He doesn't see anything as taboo. He doesn't see anything as evil. He doesn't see anything as wrong. But you have to enjoy it. You have to throw yourself into it wholeheartedly. Warriors who love bloodlust in battle, he's their patron, more so than Brax, who is often seen as the god of war, even though he's god of justice and revenge. So, yeah, Reft is definitely the insane party animal. Devils will follow Reft without question. He is their patron, if you will, because devils are all about that indulgence and pushing it to the limit and literally gambling your soul to achieve something.
Lovely. Lovely. You're giving me clay to work with, Guy. Thank you very much.
I failed my first saving throw for death save.
I'll heal you.
Don't bother. He's not worth it.
Uh,
But she doesn't stop him.
Yeah.
The night continues with minds racing about randy gods and goddesses, the scrolls that are within reach, just on the other side of this little temple thing. Death in some cases, and revenge in other cases. It is a long night because the temple protects you from anything outside it. But you can see out, right?
Yep.
And at night, you see the walls positively coming alive as these sand serpents, as Kelly described them, emerge from the walls. They are made out of the same sandstone that the walls are made out of. And they have encircled your temple. There must be 6 or 7 of them. Each one is about 12.5 foot long, and at its thickest is probably about a foot thick.
Ugh.
The heads are very ornately carved or constructed or imagined or whatever these things are, to almost look like a Sagetti face, but also to look like a horned adder, a serpent. So it's a sort of bizarre facial kind of expression. And they seem to be very aware of you and very much willing to wait for all eternity for you to step out.
Okay.
And when you wake the next morning, they're still there.
Right.
Gemini, do you want to try and persuade them to leave?
No, I was just thinking something similar.
Is our little temple in a corner?
I had imagined it kind of right in the middle of the room, in
Yeah.
amongst all the bookshelves.
Bookshelves. Mm.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
And do we think
Boring.
these creatures could be charmed?
They don't look like it. They look like they're made out of a similar material that the Sphinx was made out of.
Yes.
I will say, just the updated Leomund's Tiny Hut has the following text. Creatures and objects in the emanation when you cast a spell can move through it freely. All other creatures and objects are barred from passing through it. Spells of level 3 or lower can't be cast through it, and the effects of such spells can't extend into it. So technically, if you were to cast a level 4 spell from within it to outside it, such as an area of effect, it would blast outside but not extend inside the temple. Sorry, the tiny hut.
Yeah. So I could fireball the place. Yeah.
You could fireball the place. I could fireball the place, or
I've
actually,
got-
fireball.
Hungers of Hadar and things like that. That could do.
Mm.
Yeah, you want to Hunger
Clear the
of
space
Hadar would be a
before
good
we-
one, because that creates darkness as well. So we could possibly.
I would imagine they've got like tremor sense or something. Just hypothesizing.
So
Have
we
you
long rest
grasp?
before we go further? Is it a long rest?
You
Guy,
do get a long
accomplished?
rest. Correct.
Okay.
Long rest accomplished.
Cute.
Okay.
If the team and I try to make a run, we might be able to lure them into following us. That would give you time to move on.
I'd rather not use you as bait when we can use you further down the line. If we can find a way to get rid of these things, we can keep
Very
you with
well.
us. Unless that's the best idea we end up having.
Why don't I cast a... Oh, it's level 4. I only have one level 4 spell slot.
Yeah, same here. Nonetheless, so how many exits from this place?
From the library, 1. Back into that main corridor that you were in.
Oh, I see. Okay. So I could just blow a hole in them, you know, and then we could make a run for it.
I could thunder step into them. Or Hunger of Hadar. You like either of those?
I was going to say, I fireball to clear a space for us to run, and then when we get through that space, you drop the Hunger of Hadar to stop them from following us. Because that has a kind of an entangling effect, doesn't it? Or a restraining effect or something. And it's darkness as well, assuming they don't... Assuming they
Yes, more about if they start their turn in it. They can pass through it just fine. It's just if they are in it.
Yeah.
They start their turn in it, or if I drop it on them. Yeah?
Yeah.
We can do that. We can do some serious damage to these creatures.
So that's the plan.
All right.
Between us and the exit, I drop a fireball, we run, and then our artist does his Hunger of Hadar.
We haven't had a chance to combine our magics for a while,
Indeed.
Gottfried.
Indeed. It will be most instructive.
2 different disciplines
And
coming together.
what will Doran and Gemini be doing?
I'm
anything?
going to cast Mirror Image just to help if they do decide to attack, that I will have some sort of cover whilst we're running.
I will
like
start
that.
the day by casting my mage armor, just, because it's the last of it.
Sure. Make your preparations and then hurl your spell.
All right. One overcooked fireball coming. 21. 31.
31 points of damage.
31. TC 17 dex. I love starting the day by blowing my most powerful spell slots. Great.
What was that DC?
17.
16. So they fail. So they take 31 points damage. All right, that's fair.
It's difficult terrain. Okay.
So that's 3 of them that are hit. They don't die. Sadly. You're still
Make
running
that throw.
through them?
Something else up there?
Yeah. Oh, wait, Gemini, what was that thing you used earlier that allowed us to bypass the reach of our enemies without taking any aggression?
Oh, yeah.
Is it worth doing that?
Mantle of
Mantle of
Inspiration.
Inspiration.
Oh, Mantle of Inspiration. Yes, absolutely. Yes, she shall. That's a bonus action anyway, so she can, as well as Mirror Image, do her Mantle of Inspiration. So you can let me roll a d8, and that will give you all your
Temp.
So you'll get you 3 plus Kelly and Healer get an extra temp. Where's it gone?
You can't do
Sorry,
that one
4.
on yourself.
I don't think so. But yeah, so you've all got 4 temp plus Kelly and Healer, and then we can all move our full speed without provoking opportunity attacks.
Very nice. There are going to be quite a few of those. All right, so you all rush through them. And on that, I'm going to ask for everybody to make initiative checks, if you please.
Ugh, 3.
Oh,
67 years old, man. Give me a break.
Dirty
3.
20.
Dirty 20.
15.
15. Doran?
19.
Nice. Unfortunately, mine got a 20 natural. which puts them on 23 total. So they're acting first. You have all dashed through them and are about to do whatever it is that you're about to do. You've dashed through them. They're going to attack. 3 of them are going to attack the team. Is that right? Yes, 3 of them are going to attack the team, and that leaves 3 to attack you lot. So 1d8, 1-2 is Gottfried, 3-4 is Alvaradas, 5-6 Doran, 7-8 is Gemini. So the first attack, 5-6, so Doran. Second attack,
slow lad.
5-6 Doran.
Slow lad.
Third attack, a 1 Gottfried. Okay, so the first one attacks Doran, and they make 3 attacks. So the first one is a bite against you, Doran. It snaps at you, hits an armor class of 15. Don't think that does anything.
Nope.
Second one's another bite. 8. And the third one is a ranged attack as it spews out liquefied sand at you, sort of a sand acidy type of thing. Except that the sand smells rank. It smells like rotting detritus on the coast. And that is a 22.
Meets it, beats it.
Unfortunately, it hits you for 22, and you take 22 points of necrotic damage.
Juicy.
That was the first one. Second one attacks. 2 bites for you. That's only a 20 dirty, and that's an 11, so both of those miss. And so the ranged attack misses as well. 2 attacks for Doran, for Gottfried. First attack, it bites at you, 15.
I'll cast shield.
Boing.
Yep.
Second attack is a dirty 20.
Son of a bitch.
Damn, sorry. And so that is for 6 plus 19 points. So it's 6 damage, piercing, and then 19 points of poison damage.
Oh, gee.
And then the third attack is the spitting of the liquid sand, and that is unfortunately a 23. So that hits you. Oh, and for 27 necrotic damage.
Well, down. Down, down, down.
Chomp, 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 chomp. And the rest is against the squad who take that damage. Ouch.
Did you have your 4 temporary, Maurice?
Yeah, that's gone too.
Yeah. Cool,
Yeah.
but just checking.
Frail old chappy, you know.
He is.
Frail old chappy indeed. That is the end of them, and the beginning is Doran.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're in kind of experimentation mode here. So I'm going to do a simple thing first of all, which is to apply a bonus action greater healing potion to Maurice. So you can roll 44 plus 4, please.
Yes, sir.
And then I'm looking at these creatures, and they're made of stone. They're animated. They're dealing necrotic damage. Doran felt that, so I'm going to use my channel divinity to try and turn undead. See if these creatures are actually undead and will be affected by that.
You reach out with your divine sense to try and turn the undead. They are not undead, but you get a sense that they're not from this plane.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Okay. All right.
That was your action?
That was my action and bonus action. So
Okay. That takes us to Gemini.
Right. This worked with the Sphinx yesterday, so she is going to cast Ray of Sickness at 3rd level, at whichever one is coming closest to her.
All right. It gets to make a dexterity saving throw. Right. Is that correct?
I've got to do an attack, and I've just
okay.
rolled 18.
Beautiful. 18 is a hit.
Marvelous! And as I've cast that at 3rd level, I get to roll my damage 3 times. That's a 6 plus 4 plus 7. That's 17 points of damage. Poison
What type
damage.
of poison damage? You see your poison splash against its sand-like skin and then pool on the floor as it moves around it. It doesn't seem to do anything to it, unfortunately.
Poison damage doesn't work, she shouts out to everyone, and as she's... Who's next in the initiative order?
Next in the initiative order is Avaradus.
Time to make things up to me, and he gets a bardic inspiration.
Oh, nice. It's a D8, right?
Yes. It
Yes,
is a
okay.
D8.
All right, Avaradus, you were going to cast your
Hunger of
Hadar.
Hadar.
Yes.
Yes. We all passed the main core, and now they're just chasing us, right?
In theory,
Well, except for, Gottfried, who's
down.
down.
No, he's up.
Yes. Oh, he's up. Yes, that's
he's
right.
getting
He's
up,
got-
but he's
yeah.
not
Getting
up.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to grasp dear Gottfried by the collar, ready to. I don't know if I can yank him away with a bonus action, but I've got a handle on him.
I'll just shout, I will Misty Step.
Okay. How I will drop this Hunger of Hadar in such a way that it's just behind us, the radius of the 20 feet, the sphere of darkness that appears. Again, my sword being drawn, and it ripples down out my mouth and rolls through the veins of my hand and explodes out my fingertips this time into a ball of darkness where these rather strange sucking sounds can be heard before these dark tendrils erupt and they start lashing at everything within range of this 20-foot sphere.
Nice.
When they start their turn, need to roll
Some
a
dice.
dexterity saving throw of 15. Or
Okay.
take some damage.
Are you doing anything else?
Like I say, I've got my hand on the back of Gottfried, so if I'm able to just, as I'm moving away, just pull him with me, but if that's more than the bonus action, then
That's, yeah. All right.
Don't worry about
okay.
it.
That's your plan. Let's see what happens. It's then the team. The team are not going to go into your darkness. They instead just try and form a protective circle around you. Gottfried.
I will try to Misty Step.
Sure.
And then I will cast Blade Ward, which is stop being crap. It's now really good. It's cantrip. So anything that tries to attack me gets a -4 on.
Very nice.
Whether it's hit roll or damage. I think it's hit roll.
Okay.
So yeah, just an evasive maneuver.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
That takes us to the top of the round, which is the creatures. They have to make their dexterity saving throw. DC 15, you said. They get a 14. What's the result?
Okay, they take at
Yeah,
the start of their turn, they
Yes.
take 2d6 cold damage. I shall roll that for you now.
Okay.
And if they end their turn there as well, they take 2d6 acid damage, if that does anything. It is 11 cold damage.
Nice.
And then when their turn ends, let me know if they're still within reach. It is difficult terrain also within the sphere, as they are
That
being
just halves their
sucked upon.
movement. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine. With half their movement, they are not stupid creatures, so they will move out of that zone, unfortunately. And as they do, the three of them will do this instead. It's not very good. But they'll do it anyway. There's three of them. Once again, rolling to see who they are firing this at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, as usual. Rolling a d8. The first one attacks Gottfried. And this is a very long-ranged attack,
Is it?
sadly. Second one.
Can they see us through the other side of this sphere of darkness? Have they approached us? I was imagining that it was sort of funneling them through a doorway, perhaps. But
They can just move through it. It's certainly difficult terrain, so it halves their movement speed. And their movement speed, unfortunately, is 40 feet. So they could literally just get through it, sadly.
and then they'll be at my toesies.
They will indeed. Yes. So the first one was Godfried. Second one is 3. So it's at you, Everardus. Ironically, you're right there. And then the third one is at Gemini. So I require the 3 of you to please give me a dexterity saving throw with a very low DC.
I cast mirror image before the tiny temple went down. So
and that
if
increases
that's
your armor class, right?
That gives me, so I've basically got 3 other versions of me that all have a armor class of 12. So once they would go hopefully for one of those first, and if they hit that, then it goes. Is my understanding.
How do they? Is there a save against choosing which one?
Against the choosing of it? It's impossible to track which image is real.
Okay.
Each time a creature targets you with an attack,
yes,
roll a d20 to determine whether the attack instead targets on you or your duplicates.
All right, roll a d20.
6, but I don't know what that means. I suppose a 6 is not good, so probably me.
Does it not say?
Oh, you must roll higher than... Sorry, it's the next paragraph. You must roll a 6 or higher to change the attack. Ah, so that's okay. With 2
So it goes to somebody else. Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, Godfried, what was your saving throw?
Mine was a 14.
14. That is exactly what you were looking for, Everardus.
Oh, well, in that case, I rolled a 6.
Ah, yes. Not so great. Okay. So that is that. 1, 5, 8, 14.
Stop counting.
23. So you take 23 lightning damage as you are hit by a lightning bolt. And Godfried, you take 12 damage. Indeed. That is their turn done. So we go to Gemini.
So I'm really struggling to find anything that I think will work on them because lots of my stuff is very charming. And the Sphinx didn't seem to get on well with that. So, yeah. But to try something, I will, I'm going to go for Vicious Mockery. Because then at least I'll have an idea and I won't have wasted a good spell slot if it doesn't work psychic damage. So I'm going to call them sniveling, crawling, disgusting, awful things. And so the spell... they must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d4 psychic damage. And have disadvantage on the next roll. So, yeah.
It got a 3. So that's 8 in total.
So yeah, that's lower than my spell save DC. So they get 1 point of psychic damage, but they do have on their next attack roll they have disadvantage.
1 point of psychic damage. Okay. Well,
And she shouts out, psychic damage works.
I like that. Good team player. All right, Gemini's gone. Doran's next.
Yeah. So there are still 3.
By the way, I'm
six.
moving each time. I'm just forgetting because I've not got a map in front of me.
That's fair. Yeah, there are 3. The other 3 have been stuck on the other side of the Hunger of Hadar.
Okay. Well, I think it's important to get these guys down as quickly as possible. So Doran's going to cast Spirit Guardians at 3rd level. And his Spirit Guardians flit out from him. They're still this kind of tortured mix of sheep and rams and devilish creatures. So he's still thinking about Georgie at this moment in time. And that means that at the beginning of their turns,
they're going to take some damage.
They can take some damage. And their speed is halved as well in the emanation.
Ooh, very nice. Okay, Everardus.
The one who just lightninged me.
Yes.
I found that irksome guy. I found that very irksome indeed. And I'm going to take my revenge upon it in the form of multiple stabbings.
Ah, I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, go ahead and roll your stabbings, if you please.
First one is a 16.
Bounces off of its sand-like armor.
Yeah. Next one is a 19.
Pierces its armor, dealing damage.
As the first one glides off its scaly armor, I go, that's how we're doing it. And I aim for the gap and I thrust in with feeling this time.
With feeling.
That was only not much feeling, though. It was a 5.
5 damage.
Yes.
Okay.
I rolled a 1. So, and then lastly, we'll try that one last time. Oof. 24 to
Yes,
hit.
that's what we want.
And that is an 8.
Very good, very good. It dies. It crumbles to sand.
There we go. I spit on the sand.
Give me a perception check.
See if my spit lands. Perception. Oh, dirty 20.
The sand appears to be very slowly aggregating around your spit.
Like it.
If I'm able to just sort of kick it into the hunger of Hadar, just in case.
Sure, you kick it into the hunger of Hadar as best you can. That takes us to the team. The team are going to attack, and they miss, and they hit, and they miss. So 1 hit. So they take out another one, leaving 1 left, and that is available to Gottfried if he so chooses.
So there's only the one left.
Just the 1 left. The other ones are stuck on the other side.
Right. Attaches Mind Whip. By heaven. So it needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
How
DC
does...
17.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, how does a 16 sound? But 17
Sounds like a
is...
fail, which
Yeah.
is very good. So it's going to take some psychic damage.
Good.
Thank you to my colleague for advising me that that was efficacious.
Welcome.
Thank you, Sharon. Sorry, that should have been an intelligence saving throw, but it doesn't sound like that would make much difference, does it?
Would have been a 14.
There you go. All right. It's going to take 14 points of psychic damage.
Excellent.
And
How does it die?
Oh, now we're talking. All right, so somewhere in its weird sandy form, there is a mind. And that mind finds a coiling metal string around it, which starts to crush and crush until all its thoughts and feelings and soul and sense are spilled out and disintegrated. And it ceases to be a self.
Okay, that's nice. It ceased to be
Nice.
itself. The hunger of Hadar will last for how long?
I can dismiss it. Otherwise, it will last for, drumroll please, up to 1 minute.
I suggest we move quickly.
Yes.
Run.
You dash down.
Emotional healing as I run because I'm
Fair. Yeah, that's all right. You can take a full action to do that as you are running.
To
not a
quote
problem.
Jean Reno from the infamous Godzilla American first film, running would be a good idea.
Exactly.
My spirit guardians flit around me like a tutu, unused.
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
the fabulous
Ah.
mirror image duplicates, the 2 that were left over that made Gemini look like a wonderful chorus line, both meld back into her as they run.
As they run.
I like the idea that you use mirror image just to form a chorus line. Not
Absolutely.
Your journey continues for several hours as you slowly make your way through this labyrinth of interconnected temples and tombs. It becomes apparent that some corridors that you perceive to be corridors are actually roads that are thousands of years old. And the Sagetti obviously never developed a means of stopping the sand from aggregating against the sides of the road. So they just built walls up and eventually over to create these covered roads, which over thousands of years became buried roads and thereby turned them into tunnels underground. But as you move along these roads, there are times when you come across a village. It's a little town, abandoned and forgotten over the centuries. There's even a little square that's been built, and then you can see the arches that have been hastily constructed to try and prevent the sand from getting in. It is at the end of the second day that I assume you go through the same process of creating your hut, resting, relaxing, sleeping. The sand snakes do not appear again. They seem to only have guarded that one area that you defiled, I suppose, or saved for posterity. Who knows?
Okay.
Anyone doing anything that evening?
I would like to try, before I was so rudely kicked into unconsciousness.
You deserved
It's
it.
okay. I did kind of deserve it, to be fair.
Yeah. We're even Stevens now. It's fine.
Really? I don't think we're even Steven. I think I still owe you a lot, to be honest. with you. Doran, how do you commune with Haldoth?
Well, it's generally, there are prayers that can be said, Averatus. There are words that can be spoken. But mainly it's about feeling with your heart that there is someone close to you, looking over you and being there with you. So I would say that if you are a man of faith, your God is always listening.
And what
How
if
can I
it's
help?
not a what if it's not a god, but someone you owe perhaps you're a soul debt to? Do you think it works the same? Do you think they watch over me, but for their own selfish interests?
Are you talking about Damnifer, Averatus?
I am.
What say we cook up a plan to get rid of that devil once and for all?
I am 100% with you. You know this. For the time being, though, I want to know if it's possible for me, as he is my benefactor, more than Selkos is or can be, given that I only owe my physical life to Selkos. I don't own my eternal soul, as you might put it. Is there perhaps a way that you, having once been connected with him and having the knowledge to commune with your God, perhaps if we work together, do you think I could try and commune with Damnifer? It's not something I've tried to do since being resurrected.
You wish to speak with him?
I wish to ask him some questions.
Well, I mean, you experienced and are still experiencing the devil who sits on your shoulder and controls your soul, Averatus. I also have that experience. I think he'll be, of course, interested to speak to you, but he has his claws in you. And I think if you are looking for answers or looking for something from him, I think his question will be, what bargain can be made? And the question is, are you willing to pay the price?
No, you're very right. I just thought he has his reasons for being involved in these machinations and seeing us progress through this maze that we find ourselves in. So perhaps he would have reason to offer some insight. Do you think that in whatever ritual you cast to commune with your God, we could pervert it in some way and allow me to try and
Wasn't a great choice of
asking
words, mate.
to pervert the way I commune with my God, Averatus? I think the answer is no. Would you like to rephrase the question?
Yeah.
You know what? I can't think. I've been trying to talk my way in and out of situations for the past few days. Perhaps I'll just let you mull on the benefits and see what you come up with. I don't think I have it in me right now to try and persuade you.
Can I give you some advice, Averatus?
I'm
Don't be
always
so-
up for. I trust you at this point.
Don't be so complicated. You know, your heart has taken you into these strange and chaotic situations, but more often than not, it's taken you out as well. Just be simple. Just follow what you think is the right thing to do. I think that will serve you well. You're a good man, Averatus, despite your chaotic actions sometimes.
You know what, Doran? I think I needed that. Thank you.
I do have a little plan that's been brewing for some time about our dear friend Damnifer, but I would ask Gottfried and Gemini if they want to listen in and perhaps hear what I'm going to say. And I would
Absolutely.
call Gemini and Gottfried in and say, Liz, when we pick up the second volume of the Crepuscularium, this is another step towards Averatus fulfilling his bargain with Damnifer. And it's not long before Damnifer is going to come calling. And I feel that every time we are a step closer to our goal with the Crepuscularium, we are missing the fact that we have a devil on our backs. I would like to remove Damnifer from the game. And I have a plan. You may like it, you may not, but I'll lay out the plan for you now. Damnifer is eager to get his hands on the Crepuscularium. He's hungry for it. My plan is as follows. Once we get the second volume of the Crepuscularium, we lay a trap for Damnifer. Gottfried, you hold another book in your pack, the Demon Book, which I have such a history with. With this Demon Book, I managed to open a portal to the Abyss, and fiends came through this portal, servants of Orcus himself, the demon lords. My proposal is to disguise the book, the Demon Book, to look like the Crepuscularium in some way, and with magics to lay a glyph on the book so that when it's touched, it will activate. And I would like, when it activates, to open a portal through this book directly into the presence of the demon lord himself. Because I think that when Damnifer comes to grasp this book greedily, that is the moment when we can force him into the presence of the demon lord. And I'm pretty certain that the demon lords of the Abyss would love to get their hands for all eternity on a prince of hell himself. Do you think it's possible, friends?
I think it's extremely dangerous and could backfire in all manner of ways, but and I will certainly not risk the Crepuscularium. But let me give it some thought. I think the magics that we would require are not available to us yet.
I was reading about glyphs. Certain glyphs have the ability to open portals or transport. And my idea is if we have this book, the demon book itself, and somehow combine the magics together, it needs a wizard to study that, Gottfried. That's why I'm asking you to help. And Gemini, maybe
You
with
have
your...
great love for Damnifer, and he is a threat to the book. So yes, I am certainly I would certainly be eager to remove him from the equation. Leave it with me.
We don't quite know yet how to lure Damnifer to the book yet, but that's, Gottfried, where I think your lovely friend Saul comes in. When I was being judged in the halls of damnation themselves, there was another mistress at play, arrayed against Damnifer, a mistress of pain. I am pretty sure that Saul knows of who I speak. We might be able to get word to her to somehow let it slip that the Crepuscularium is here and that Damnifer can come and take it. So I think via Saul we might also have a way to seed that information in the circles of hell as well.
How do you think my familiar would know this?
Well, he's a devil, is he not?
He is, but he is bound to this plane at present, and he's very, very minor. He is technically a fiend, which makes him connected to the lower planes, but he is a very, very minor spirit.
Mm.
He is literally just a bat. But again, there are maybe other means to do this. Leave it with me.
Thank you.
Just don't let the Crepuscularium become a second importance, Gottfried.
Oh, indeed. There is no fear of me doing that. And you'll see that I actually have the first volume open and I'm reading it.
Good.
Plans on plans.
Plans on plans. And as your plans slowly start to come into cognition, there is a distant rumbling and a roar that sounds as if it emanates from a particularly large creature. But we will find out more when we return next week. Until then, from all of us, goodbye.